All right, what's up, everybody? We are episode 4, Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. We have Mike here. Matt is back, and we're going to do a Q&A for today. So we got some questions. Again, like I always say, we'll pick the least shitty questions, and we'll take those under advisement. So
someone will be offended.
That's okay. We're here to offend, educate, and entertain.
If you go through life without offending people, then you're just not doing anything.
Should probably get closer to that.
So one of the questions we'll start with is the best energy drink or top 3.
Ooh, that does evolve.
There's a lot out there.
There's so many now. Remember, like, it was Monster and Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, like, it.
And then you would have to mix your Monster with, like, branched chain amino acids and put it in a shaker and bring it to the gym.
Dude.
That was the thing.
So,
I couldn't drink that.
Or Spike.
Oh, Spike
Yeah.
was the OG. That was like the
I
nectar
still
of the
like
gods. And it just... One time I drank 2 of them without eating, and then I just shook and had heart palpitations.
That was probably the first one that had over, or at
It was
least
300.
300.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 350.
They fucking
I've probably
trailblazed.
mentioned this before. There was a buddy of mine worked for a company that used to be in Omaha called 8 Ball Nutrition, and they would make their own supplements here.
Like
around
as in
town.
cocaine.
I used some 8 Ball stuff. It was pretty good.
Almost. It was like, so they had a...
It used to be FSI Nutrition originally,
yes.
I believe.
But they had a pre-workout that they were working on that was called Herculean blah, blah,
Yeah,
whatever.
that would make you poop.
Dude, that stuff was intense. So anyways, they had a
Yeah,
fucked
I
up
took
batch. And so we used to get it, take a scoop of that, and they had like essentially a 5-hour energy drink that they made with it. And so you would take a scoop of their pre-workout, dump this 5-hour energy in there, drink it. I have no idea.
Oh, like the little
Yeah.
screw top. And
Yeah,
then,
screw top.
okay,
But, like
yeah.
8 Ball made both of these products, right? And so
Yeah.
we mix them together before training, and we go work out. They had a fucked up batch that they were just going to get rid of. And my buddy was like, fuck it, I'll take it. So we just had these like 4 or 5 huge plastic bags of this fucked up batch. We didn't know what was wrong with it other than that they couldn't sell it. And so we took the scoop. And so we're like,
FDA banned.
right.
Did
And
you feel
so-
good?
No. So we're at 24-hour fitness on 144th Street. We're in, because he just got these bags in his trunk. So we cut this bag open, take a scoop out of his bag.
Oh, gross.
Put it in our cup, put it in the cup, put in the 5-hour energy drink, fucking crush it, go into the gym, gonna have the best workout of our life.
Gross.
We spent an hour and a half just sitting in the locker room, pale, clammy, sweaty, heart going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Like the guy out here.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Then, but we realized, so the 5-hour energy thing had 150 milligrams of caffeine, maybe. The pre-workout was supposed to have like 180, but they fucked up.
Ooh.
And so it had like 700 milligrams of caffeine.
Yo.
So we were pushing
Like a G.
900.
Dude, a gram a day will probably kill you.
1,000 milligrams of caffeine in like, boom, that.
Holy shit.
It was
So that is
terrible.
not part of the top 3.
No.
No, but that's a good
But guess what we
experience.
didn't
though.
do? We didn't throw that bag away. We just used a smaller scooper.
Well, one of my, besides Spike, and the only reason I knew about Spike is because when I got to the office when I was in the military really early in the morning, I would read blogs, like lead FTS blogs, like for a couple hours, right?
Yeah, working hard, obviously.
Yeah, like training logs and like diet, which is kind of whatever. But then I was always interested in like what kind of caffeines they were drinking, and I discovered Spike, and I could never find them unless you ordered them online until GNC started carrying Spike every now and then.
Yeah, you had to buy them through Biotest back in the day. It was the only place you could get them.
They had good protein back in the day too.
Biotest had a lot of good stuff, and they used to have like if you bought like multiples, you got like a better discount.
It was
And,
great. That shit was good.
And Biotest is still around, and I think you can still get Spike from
Really?
them. Yeah, Biotest is still
It's
around.
probably
Well,
on.
wasn't Biotest like one of the original like testosterone booster making?
Maybe they do
Does
that.
Elite,
They do the Pulse diet,
I don't know.
I don't know if
and
that
they
is
also
either.
did the Velocity diet.
I don't know.
Also don't know that.
Yeah, but you basically buy like $1,000 in their supplements, and you'd lose weight.
Oh, of course it works.
Or 1,000.
But that was
milligrams of
actually the
caffeine.
original company. John Meadows worked with them originally before he got with Granite, because I think he started Granite, but he was with Biotest for a while.
Yeah.
And Biotest used to make Finny bars, and they were super good too.
I don't. Sometimes I think the energy drink question is about flavor, not about like.
Well,
and
I think
and
some
I
of it's
don't
like.
care.
So I used to do, when we first opened the gym, when we were working like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., I would do...
You do that.
No, I leave at like 5 usually now.
Oh, okay.
But we would do like an extreme speed or a speed stack
Oh, yeah.
from American Bodybuilding. That was
Right.
like 300 milligrams of caffeine, a spike, and then like a diet turbo tea in there, and then whatever pre-workout. So I was doing like a gram a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, but I think what it,
fine.
Spaced out though. You just did it like in your intravenously.
so I think part of it is
That's so
how
bad.
much caffeine do you want throughout the day? Like now, I drink like 2 Monster Ultras and then that's like 300 milligrams for a whole day. But I drink them throughout the day.
You don't drink coffee at all, do you?
I don't really like,
Like
coffee,
regularly.
except I go to like Starbucks and get like the most feminine drinks you can get there.
Fuck yeah, caramel macchiato, bro.
Oh, they're good.
Extra whipped cream.
Yeah.
But I drink probably half a pot or a pot of coffee in the morning, and I'm unaffected by it.
Is that 8 cups?
8 to 12.
I'm a
6 to 12.
I'm a Carbol Ribbon Crunch Frappuccino Venti.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That sounded Latin.
Yeah, no, it's very, very effeminate.
But
Do you
the
just hold up your phone with what you want so you don't have to say it out loud?
No, Amber has the app, so we get stars, so I don't have to do it.
I want this one. Say it out loud.
Yeah.
Say it out loud.
No.
Yeah, I'm fine with it though. I'll order right at the store.
No, they're good.
Yeah.
The coffee doesn't bother me. I could have coffee and go to sleep. I could have a Monster and go to sleep.
I can't do.
But I don't think that it's really affects me. Maybe it's a tolerance thing, but
I think I've ruined all my caffeine
Yeah, your adrenal
receptors.
glands are just
Totally.
fucking shot.
it's just a habit now. It's like, you know, you get in the car, you're gonna go to the gym, you're gonna crush some kind of caffeine because it's for me now. It's because I want something to go with my meal.
Right.
Like it's not because
I
I'm
bet
going to the
even,
gym.
like if you had your pre-workout and you took the caffeine out of it, it's more of like the oral fixation. Like the
Dude,
the
Bang
texture,
did that.
The drink, right? I thought like caffeine-free bangs were the stupidest thing ever. And
Not
I started
really.
drinking them, and I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
I
like cotton
really
candy
like the
drinks during the day to get you
Rainbow
jacked without getting all
unicorn, like, getting
fired
all-
up.
The Miami Cola one was one that I hated when they first came out with. I dig it. I
love
dig
it.
it now. Like it does taste like a flat,
Should put whiskey in it.
like Latin American cheap knockoff version of Coke.
It's great.
but it's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
And I think a lot of the Monster flavors are designed for putting whiskey in. Like the pineapple.
Dude, the white and a Jim Beam is fucking great.
Dude, pina colada Bang with some vodka.
Oh, anything? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't, as far as the top three though, I mean, yeah, you're talking like top three flavors.
I
at
could
that
probably
point.
give you mine pretty easy.
But top three flavors or top three brands? See, I've never been a Red Bull fan. I think Red Bull, in
I
my
fucking
opinion,
hate
is
Red-
super fucking overrated for what it is. Like,
Red
I would
Bull
rather
with
have
vodka
Monster.
or Red Bull in the trash are great.
Yeah. Yeah. And the original Monster, the black can with the green, couldn't do it. That's like just.
Yeah, but they started making the zero ones.
That's
and
pretty good.
They're great. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Rain is good.
I actually don't like the sugar full ones as much as
That
the
had
sugar
the
free
sugar
ones.
in them, like actual sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
not
that's
a huge
where
fan
like
of it.
I thought Rain was better than Bang because it was more of a mild
I
flavor.
agree.
Bang was like almost too sweet.
Yeah.
Except the America one. What was that? Star Blast.
Star Blast.
Yeah.
That one was pretty legit. But Rain, I think, did a good job of like mellowing out the flavor, but still getting you like wired 220 for the day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
their Melon Mania is money.
So I will say the last probably 4 to 6 months, C4 has stepped up their game.
C4's always been around though.
I know they have, but now they got
Ghost.
Starburst. Yeah, Ghost is fine, but it feels like a hipster energy
Ghost
drink.
Swedish Fish.
I mean, that's fine. But like, if you see a guy, I bet if he has a Ghost energy drink, probably has a bunch of A7 shit in his backpack, and you know what I mean. like I just. But if you have like like the C4 tried to do what they did, and I think they did it better.
Yeah, and I think C4 had the upper hand because they've been around for so long. They were kind of proven in the market.
Right.
and then they
took
went to
their-
RTDs.
I mean, like, yeah, they took their flavor and they just made it in a
Yeah.
can with
Yeah.
carbonation.
So I think, yeah, that question is more of like how much caffeine you want and then flavor.
I-
And now Rain is.
performance-wise, I don't think that it's really. If you wanted to talk about that, I would say to talk about Tanner that owns a supplement shop. To talk about you
Yeah,
know,
like Elite Nutrition or
Yeah.
like he's got an idea and get you wired up. But yeah, and I wouldn't believe all that stuff. I mean, Bang just got sued like multiple times for lying on their cans of what was in them.
Yeah.
Like they're super creatine.
didn't
It's
know
not
that.
like even a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Really?
lost like millions of dollars.
what was that supposed to be anyway? Like,
I don't-
what
I
was
don't
the super duper in that?
I don't know, but they
formula?
got sued. They lost like millions to Coke, and somebody else sued them too.
Who did Coke own them?
No. So speaking of energy drinks, so the guy that ran Bang had Pepsi distributing for him, and then like a fucking idiot, he didn't like how they were doing it. You're talking like one of the biggest distributors in the world. He didn't like how they do it, so he pulled his contract with them.
Wow.
And now I think he had to file for bankruptcy
And
recently.
he had a better idea.
Apparently, yeah, yeah, to file
Okay.
for fucking bankruptcy. Because yeah, now
Hold my
Rain.
beer. Watch this. Never give my beer back. I need that.
Where's
Yeah.
he from?
I don't know. I think he's from the States. Because Monster's like not, or I mean not Monster. Red Bull is from overseas somewhere.
It's like Scandinavia or some shit.
So, but
give
Rain
me
is owned by Coke, or at least distributed by Coke, and that's smart.
Yeah.
And now Rain has also just launched a 200 milligram drink.
I'm okay with
I'd
that.
check that out. Like anything under two, like a single Monster, nothing. I really like the carbonation. I like the flavor, but as far as any kind of like energy boost,
So the pool opens May 3rd.
At your house.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
are you gonna fill it with Monster?
yeah. I'm thinking
Such a
about
Kyle
it. The
move.
white
That's
ones.
great.
Dude, the
Yeah.
white ones are like a white Monster Ultra Zero is never bad. It's like the most crisp thing you can drink.
But that's what I mean though, is that when the sun's out and you're getting like your bloat all tanned up and you have some vodka in one of those things with some ice and stuff, dude. It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's all like if you're looking for a top three, that's like a preference thing. Like if I was gonna go,
So what's your top 3? Just go through it. Let's just
my top three? I drink Monster Ultras because we obviously carry all
Okay,
Monster and Coke
flavor-wise.
stuff here. Ultra Paradise, the green can is pretty legit.
which one's
That's
it?
the sugar-free green can, right?
Yeah, the Ultra one. We have
Okay,
here,
yeah, that was great.
Obviously white. The Ultra Zero is awesome, and the rosé is good, but that new strawberry one is pretty solid too.
Ooh, I haven't had that.
The new strawberry one's pretty solid, but I stick with the Ultras, and I drink like maybe 2 of them throughout the day, so I get a total of like 300 milligrams of caffeine.
That's a good break between the waters and stuff anyway.
Yeah, and
What about you, Matt?
but I still try to do a gallon of water every day
You're being a lot.
just for health.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pee a lot either because of the water or diabetes. It's one of those two. I passed the diabetes test last year at the doctor though, so that's probably
You get
fine.
like a sticker, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, driving home."
He was just impressed with my triglycerides, so he didn't even talk to me about the diabetes.
You can try to break that this season.
No, I'm not going to eat bacon before I go in and get my fucking blood work done again.
But that was turkey bacon, which is
There was a
worse.
couple strays of regular bacon, and my triglycerides were like 408. He was impressed.
I've never seen someone so strong in my life.
Yeah, but I mean, my blood pressure or my
How's
cholesterol
your
was still
blood
good
even
though.
flowing?
Yeah, it's just gravy.
Right.
Gross.
It's like that chilled maple syrup consistency.
But what are you guys' top 3, Matt?
Number 1 flavor and drink is the Rain Inferno Red Dragon, I think is what it's
Oh
called.
yeah,
Was it the
I know what you're talking about.
metabolism one?
It's supposed to be.
Because
I
those
just like
make
the
me
flavor.
sick.
But I get sweaty
Yeah.
walking. I don't
I
even
do-
need the Inferno thing.
Right. Well, I'm always sweating, so I don't know if it does anything.
That's why you're
just
shredded
really
right
like
now,
the
though, I
flavor.
think.
100%.
Yeah, summer's
Yeah.
coming.
Always
Pool's
burning- always
opening,
burning
summer's
cows.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. That's easily number 1.
That's like in the gray and white and red can, right?
No, it's like
Yeah.
black and
it
red,
just
isn't
says
it?
like Inferno on it.
Yeah, it
It's
says-
like a blackish gray. It's different styling than the other cans. Like it's similar.
It's like a tattoo, isn't it? Like the tattooed can. Like a
maybe.
travel
Like
tattoo
the
from
whole
the
can
90s.
has like decorations and
Yeah.
prettiness all
If
over
you
it.
can't find the description, just look for Inferno.
Yeah.
Dummy.
All right.
So
QT, check.
Yeah.
Shout out again.
That's numero uno. Typically, I'll drink Monster just because I really like carbonated drinks,
Oh, yeah.
and I've just totally fucked my adrenal system. So like 150 milligrams of caffeine is
Just
nothing. Right.
It's
It's
water.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like I could drink that at fucking 8, fall asleep at 8:07.
You know, if you're
Like, no
hungover, the
problem.
first thing, if I had them in the fridge, is not like, I want a water or Gatorade. It's something that's carbonated with caffeine in it.
Right.
And it's one of
Just
those.
that carbonated.
Yeah.
So like Monster is probably one I drink the most of because, like I said, my adrenal system's shot, so it really doesn't do anything for me.
Why do you think that that's shot?
Because I've just like done so much caffeine for so long, and not to go too
I
far.
wish you would have said drugs.
I wish. I have such an addictive personality that if I found a drug I like, fucking done, gone.
Me too.
Committed. But I will say I have tapered back a lot from morning caffeine as a result of Andrew Huberman. If you guys listen to him at all, so he has a whole podcast on kind of like optimizing your day kind of stuff. And one of the things that he mentions in there is, I think it's adenosine, is the chemical that's in your brain. Essentially, like you wake up and you have all these somewhat sedative chemicals in your body, and it takes 60 to 90 minutes for these things to kind of like work their way out. So within that 90-ish minute window, if you add some kind of like exogenous stimulant like caffeine, your body's like,
Including coffee.
including coffee. Like,
Okay.
yeah, caffeine's the kind of piece. Now I'm sure meth would do the same thing, but I haven't tried that yet. But you add a stimulant, and so you have all this. I want to say it's adenosine is the stuff that's in there, and comes with these other like sedatives. So you introduce caffeine, and your body kind of goes, "Oh shit, we're good. Like we're awake. Let's fucking do this thing." And so you start feeling good. You're happy. You have do this, and then as the caffeine wears off, your body still has these sedatives in there from the
Do you
nighttime.
feel better doing that?
I feel well. So what happened? Like you have your you have your coffee, right? But unless you have 78 cups of coffee, right, to get you through this process for your body to get rid of all these sedatives, you'll have your coffee.
And what gets
then
rid
you
of it?
get
Just
done.
peeing and
Just
stuff?
time. Just
Oh,
like
just
your
time.
body just kind
Okay.
of processes it and gets rid of it. So, but if you have caffeine going through your system, your body's going to hold on to that stuff. So you get done drinking your cup of coffee, right? And then if like 20 minutes later, you're kind of like, ugh, I'm a little sluggish.
Well, how long have you done that though?
I've probably been held off from caffeine before 10 a.m. for going on
Fuck, that seems hard.
5 or 6 months now.
But that's getting up at what time?
That's getting up at about 5, somewhere around there.
That's
Between
tough.
4:30 and 5:30 is generally when I
I
get up.
love having a.
I usually
cup of
hold off
black
till like
coffee in the
8:30 or
morning.
9.
Yeah, but it's the important thing, at least from the
You're up at
research
probably
there,
4:30.
is that like don't have it within 90 minutes of like you waking up. Now, if you were theoretically, if you were to wake up at 5, right, but you're like, fuck it, I'm not getting out of bed, and you just kind of lay there and do whatever and stuff for 90 minutes, you could get up and then have something. It's like when you're
Wake up,
circadian
go right
rhythm.
downstairs,
Yeah.
coffee, boom, hit
Right,
right
like
away.
you get
yeah.
up, the coffee's made because you have it set on a timer and you
Oh,
pour
fuck,
coffee,
that's
right?
me.
And you start
Yeah.
doing that. So the thing that happens is you have that first cup of coffee, and then your body still has all these sedatives in there. So you drink your coffee, caffeine keeps you awake, caffeine wears off. Now you still have all these sedatives in your system that your body's
That's
like,
nuts.
oh shit, I
I'm
gotta
glad
get
you
rid of
know
this
these
stuff.
things
And it
because
starts
I
to,
don't
like, and so that's why you get tired
at all.
again, right? You have your first cup and you're kind of like, I'm not quite awake yet. But if you were to drink caffeine for 3 or 4 hours in the morning over that time frame, your body will get rid of whatever those.
Damn.
Adenosine sticks on mine. I don't know if that's what it is.
That's awesome.
But so it sticks in that. So I have found that at least my mornings are better if I hold off caffeine.
Wait, you
Before.
answered Inferno. What were
It's
the
my
other two?
favorite. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Going way
No, you're good.
Um,
I got too educated and my brain hurts.
So, Inferno, number 1. I would put any Monster as number 2.
Budweiser.
I've tried some of like the alcoholic energy drinks, and but again, like I could have.
And you're fine being an alcoholic without the energy.
Right, but I could go.
Yeah,
I could
same.
go have like 75 Vegas bombs, and like fall asleep without being super hammered. Maybe 75 is a little excessive. 2 or 3, right? Because of course you fall asleep after
75 at a hospital trip.
So you could go like have 2 or 3 in a night, and which is roughly half a can of Red Bull in each one. So you're looking at least 200, 300 milligrams of caffeine between those 3 or 4 of them. Go home, no problem. Like,
Perform in the bedroom.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, Inferno number 1. I would put just Monster in general as number 2 from just a volume standpoint because I drink so much. I like all the flavors.
That's fair.
They're all pretty good. I like what Ghost is doing with the flavors. Like again, it's like Swedish Fish.
Oh, that's
Get
great.
over it.
I mean, it's
It's
cool.
fucking
Yeah.
so good. But I would probably I don't know. I haven't had a Bang in a long time.
Dude, Bang used to be so good. though.
So
Like,
good.
I
And
It
they
was-
came out with all these flavors,
yeah.
but some of them started to get really intense.
Some of them got
the
actually
flavor was
gross.
just, like, too much.
I feel like they went too far. Like, you get too many flavors.
Right.
I think even Rain has started to dial back their flavors now.
Like the rainbow unicorn, and there were a couple of like really
Star Blast,
birthday
bro.
cake from Bang were ones that I think I must have just gotten the habit of drinking a lot on Saturday and Sunday mornings.
I didn't
when was
like
fucking
those
hungover.
ones at all.
And so like I have a real bad like,
That's funny.
disposition
I didn't
with
like 'em
I'm
at
like,
all.
As soon as I drink them, my body's like, oh shit, we're hungover. Fuck.
Dude, the black cherry vanilla Bang
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
surprising.
is
Yeah.
some of them were
so good. You know what's really okay? A big part of all of this, and I'm assuming you're done, I'm just gonna jump in.
Yeah, you take it.
Is I get really sad when if you pour out an energy drink and like put it in like a shaker on ice or something to be like, I don't know, extra gas station cold for longer. You know what I mean?
Does the shaker feel like health? Is that why you do that?
No, it's because I want everybody to know that like I train. I drive
Oh.
around town with a shaker cup or
It
something.
probably
got
says
the-
train
you
on your
keep
shaker
fucking-
cup.
Yeah, it does. It has a bunch
Keep
of Lead
little
FTS
whisk
stickers
balls
on
the
it.
bottom Too, right? You got ice in there.
I got-
a whisk ball, and you just.
I got a
shake it so
whole
people look.
8-man silicone banner on the front, vinyl banner on the front of my car. Let them
Yeah.
know that I deadlift or something. No, pouring it out into a cup and it doesn't have a color kind of makes me disappointed. Like grape flavored waters.
I thought they didn't have color, but I poured out the pink. The
Pink does a little bit, but most of the other ones are just like a yellow
clear.
white core.
Or, I mean, they're mostly clear.
Yeah.
Like the grape ones should look purple, and I want that dye in my system. You know,
I think there's probably like a limit on the amount of chemicals they're allowed to put in a drink.
they're at the top.
They're at the top. They're like, no red number 7, no yellow 5. Like they can't put any more.
Oh, that's good. Like you remember those Crystal Light water flavoring things?
Yeah, they're still good.
They're great, but the grape ones they are starting making them without the dye in it, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Looking at
That's
you
like
know.
back in the day they had the mystery pack of Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
It was
it's
just white and you didn't know what the fuck it was going to be.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Such a letdown to the community.
So my top 3 would probably be, and I'll base this off of recents. If there's a C4 there in the gas station refrigerator, that's what I grab.
Does it matter the flavor?
I have some preferences. Like
Way to support the gym. We don't sell C4, thanks.
he used to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one time.
And I buy shit all the time here, by the way. So C4, it used to be the Bomb Circle one, the blue one. And
Oh,
now,
That was like their OG flavor.
yeah, and now it's either the Starburst or Skittles ones. Like they're brilliant. The next one is again Monster in general, right? I think any time of day, whether I'm going to go train or not, like it's fine. Third would be, I'll still drink Red Bulls, but I just prefer to not.
Yeah.
But it's in my list. I mean, because they're pretty easy to get. You know,
Yeah, I mean Red Bull is everywhere, and they did expand their flavors. I'll give them that. But
they
I
have
think
peach. The peach one's great with vodka.
No one mentioned the 5-hour energy drinks.
Oh, those are
Oh, they're
bullshit.
still cool. They still have like a thing
I
that
don't
people
know.
actually buy.
I don't know when they were cool. Once it was on.
98, 99.
You know the good ones, the ones that
Oprah
don't
thought
have
they were cool.
the ones that don't have commercials. Those are
Oh
the good
yes,
ones. You gotta
agreed.
keep them like on the fucking.
Yeah, have you
lowdown.
ever seen a C4 commercial?
No. No, because no one wants to read the fucking warning on the bottom that said may cause stroke.
may cause everything.
Yeah. That's not bad. But yeah, I think like I said, the biggest thing with is energy drinks is going to be how much caffeine you can handle, stimulant wise,
That too, yeah.
and flavor. I mean, it's all flavor
I do
based.
wonder
And
why like they make them into 16-ounce cans. Like, why not just go fucking 20-ounce bottle? You don't have to put as much caffeine.
Oh,
in
that's
them.
not as fun to open them up that way.
but that new Rain, the new Rain 201 is in a 12-ounce can.
So just put it in a.
But you
smaller
know,
can.
and Red Bull was always in those like weird, were those 8-ounce cans or 10-ounce
Yeah.
cans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna have much space on the shelf.
You know what's
anyway.
great about Red Bull and those other energy drinks, though, is that it's changed the game if you wanted to drink and drive, which I don't condone it. But you can get like those pre-made vodka sodas from the gas
Such an
station
idiot.
and drive around, and everyone thinks you're just getting energy in. You know, like it's fair. And you can probably throw them out the window, and the cop's like, fucking kid with a Red Bull, you know.
And then you get pulled over for littering.
Yeah.
Next thing you know.
But he won't look at the can because he's assumed it's a Red Bull.
Right, but then when you're like, what?
Yeah, so minus the drinking part, yeah, I would say that's probably our energy drink review. Yeah, but yeah, figure out what stimulant you can handle, what flavors you like, and what what's readily available is probably the easiest one.
From an educational standpoint, I would go back to like the morning one. Like, give it a shot. It super fucking sucks for a while.
That does sound really
It's
hard to
fucking
do.
terrible. Like, I remember I went for like the first 4 or 5 days. It was day 4 or 5. I got there and I was like, why does my fucking face hurt? I'm like, my soul hurts, my neck hurts, everything. I was like, oh, those are called withdrawals.
Yeah, for sure.
But then afterwards, it's like mornings are better. Like, you don't get that like fatigue afterwards and stuff.
That's tough.
But I would suggest giving that a run on just caffeine in general in the morning.
All right.
Next question.
Question 2. What's one of the most overlooked lifts or motions for powerlifters? Mike's got a thought.
I do, and it's overhead press.
I agree with that. I think a lot of people don't overhead press, and it's like the squat for the upper body.
It's so
Are you talking standing, seated, variations?
standing for a main mover.
Push press, strict press?
Honestly, both. I think that push press will get you confident with heavier weights as you're locking it out and your triceps get engaged and you're catching weights above your head that are heavier. Not just a mental thing for confidence, but I do think it's still my push press had built my strict press and then vice versa. But you do
Did it help
both.
your bench?
They do directly
big
correlate
time.
to the bench.
Big
Did it
time.
get you to 365?
I think I'm there.
Thinking and being are different.
I think I'm there. I think I was there that day.
Yeah,
But-
you didn't do it.
Never know.
Yeah, we'll
I
never
didn't
know.
know.
I
But
was,
the
though.
thing is, so anytime my overhead press goes up at all,
Your bench should go up.
it does. And I actually didn't. I train bench primarily for building my overhead press. But when I wanted to kind of retest a bench max, and my overhead press had gone up, 50 pounds, whatever. This is a course of multiple years, right? My bench it felt healthier. I felt like I hurt a lot less, and I felt like I could unrack and lock out the weight way better if my overhead press was up. And that's push press or strict press. I think that push press is much more of an art,
Yep.
and I wouldn't start there. I would stand with a barbell or an axle, and I would honestly tell powerlifters to prefer an axle because kind of get away from a barbell for a little bit.
It's actually easier on your joints.
It
weirdly
is, and have fun with it. Like sets of 5, just for as a powerlifter, who cares? You don't have to have a max effort overhead press, but if you build your shoulders and if you're overhead pressing 275, I bet you're benching.
You're talking
A lot.
about taking out of the rack, right? Like come up in like a front rack position.
Sure,
Pick,
yeah.
Step back. Press.
Yeah. I don't anything seated for shoulders. I think is still fine, but I think powerlifters always do that anyway. They have like a 15 minutes of bodybuilding after they overhead press to do some shoulder work, some delt raises, stuff like that. And I think that that's fine, but I don't think that they ever have a 4th day of training for the most part that is focused on building an overhead.
No, I agree with that. I think overhead press is huge. I mean, look at what Ed do a seated behind the neck overhead press for like 405.
Dumb.
I mean, he proved the point right there. But I think it also just the amount, because we actually had another question we could tie into about like core and ab training for powerlifters.
Yeah.
I think doing standing overhead press is a tremendous core exercise.
It's huge.
Because to be able to stabilize at the top at a lockout, making sure you're keeping your core tight, also walking out heavy weights on squats. And actually, a lot of people, your obliques are the biggest muscles to use when you're squatting. Your obliques are your biggest stabilizers, your side to side.
And I noticed it with people who have been powerlifting for a while, and they got into the like adult sizes of 220 plus weight class, and then they drop a lot of weight. Like they still have
A thick midsection.
With very.
That's why I tell people all the time, I'm not
pronounced
even
obliques.
fat. It's
Right,
just
it's
all,
just like
just
you have to have
Yeah,
that.
a
to
trunk.
stabilize
A
everything.
just all
trunk,
Shredsville,
yeah.
really. I
Yeah,
can't
you're
even
not gonna
keep it
have,
under
like, that
control.
thin-
Yeah, I know.
thin waist.
I see so many abs through your shirt.
No, yeah. Just one. That's all you need.
You look like a grenade.
I like that. Ready to blow at any time.
Just everywhere.
You look like Liver King.
Not quite.
Yeah, 'cause
Drug free.
You don't tan.
But he was too.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
All you need is a tan. I'll see you May 3rd.
Yes. No, I think overhead press is probably one of the most overused, but I think, or underused, I mean. I think the most other underused movements are anything that somebody's bad at. They will not fucking do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And actually, underused could be changing your grips. Like everybody's like, oh, competition bench or close grip. Why not go ultra wide? Why not go in between? Squatting. And we have a million different bars here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
I think
changing bars,
actually,
for sure.
I think the real most underused lift is variety.
I agree. Yeah.
I think changing bars, if you have the ability, if you don't, I get it. But you know what? You can take a regular barbell on a bench, close grip, wide grip, narrow grip, or in between grip, overhead press, seated overhead press. If you can get a hold of any chains, now you've just completely changed that lift again.
Yep. You can hang a weight with a band and just have it kind of
floor
like a
press.
bamboo type thing.
If you have a bar, there's so many variations you can do besides just benching or just overhead pressing or just squatting. I think variety is the most underused lift.
That's a good one. I mean, especially if you're a power lifter and that's your sport is a bench press.
And you have access to it. And if you
Yeah.
live in a city that has a powerlifting gym and you don't go there, you're an idiot.
Yeah, totally.
You going to Genesis because you're too nervous to go to a powerlifting gym that has all the advantages you need, you're an idiot. And if you don't like it, you're probably not listening to this podcast anyway.
Probably
Because
not.
you're an idiot.
Probably not.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, but overhead press
mean,
for
even
sure is really underused because, it's going to help it'll help your squat.
You cycle
Yeah,
that
I
in
think
as max
overhead.
effort for your
Yeah,
your training.
we rotate weekly. We do incline, flat, overhead on our.
See, incline's good too, and I think that even incline closer grip with like a shoulder saver or two board or something like that.
I think using boards, if you don't want to tear your bicep tendon like I did, don't try to touch your chest super high.
No.
Yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
don't-
who cares? There's no competition for an incline bench press.
Yeah,
so who
use
gives
a
shit?
board, or if you
Yeah.
have a shoulder saver pad from Elite FTS. If you don't, go to EliteFTS.com and get one because they're super nice. They snap on the bar.
Just fucking roll a towel up and stick it down.
Roll
your
a towel
shoulder.
up
I've done
on it.
that. I take knee sleeves and
Yeah.
There's
Wrap it
there's
up.
plenty of options to make that a better movement for you.
Yeah.
But rotate things through. You don't have to do the same thing all the time. You know,
I like overhead. Overhead with like good form too, right? Where you're standing upright. You're not in this like
In an actual
strongman
strict press.
arched back position, right? But like you get those super arched back positions, and now pretty
It's
much
an
your
incline
shoulder
bench.
capsule like, boop, yeah, it's come back, and now you're like.
well,
somewhat
and
of
that's
a
why they
steep
took the power
incline.
press out of the Olympics, because those guys figured out how to lean way back, turn it into an
Yeah.
incline, and then they'd snap forward real quick and lock it out.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing with that position to have a good strict press is also your upper back and contracting your scapula is way better, way stronger.
Yeah.
So if you just do all those things, overhead press will probably still help your squat.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
and even with that one, like on the overhead press, you can go close grip, you can go wide grip, you can do all kinds of different stuff.
changing bars. One thing for a while when I was building my log was racking up like over 300 pounds in a squat rack and just like a snatch grip and get underneath it and not pressing it, but feeling the weight at a locked out position.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because like week to week would be like I would be really wobbly, and then a couple weeks later it'd be really stable.
Yeah,
And
that's just like even nervous system training.
exactly.
You know, doing overloads like walkouts with a heavy squat bar,
Yeah.
and not even walking out, just standing with a solid pick and feeling it out. But yeah, I think for the answer for that question is actually variety.
It
I
is
think
right.
variety is probably the biggest one.
And going back to last week, maybe conditioning.
Well, yeah, better conditioning is probably
And conditioning, I think, for a power lifter could be all your accessory movements. Get a timer, like set a time limit. Don't fuck around for 2 hours.
yeah, and I talked about that on one of the other ones with clients. Do like a max effort powerlifting movement for them, and then the accessories can be a fast paced circuit, so they get a calorie burn going, heart rate up,
Yep.
you know, all that stuff. I think that can be tremendous for that. So, yeah, conditioning, variety, overhead press.
Was that question specifically for powerlifters?
I did say for powerlifters,
Okay.
but I mean, you can do that stuff for anybody. I don't think a lot of people do a strict press.
Well, I was gonna.
And you know what the other one? Not to
They
interrupt you,
don't.
but a full range of motion.
Yeah.
That means bringing the bar down to basically your collarbone.
the clavicle.
You know what I mean? But keeping your elbows under the bar, and then coming back up. A lot of people cut it at their nose.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're trying to get a full range of motion that you want, that you can do the motion.
As hard as when you bring the bar down all the way when you're standing to your chest, you have a lot more shoulder rotation. But don't be so heavy. You know, don't beat your. I mean, you can get healthy shoulders by doing the full range. You don't have to go balls to the wall. You know, max effort overhead pressing. You need to move your shoulders healthily, right?
Yeah, and that's what makes a strict press hard, is because it's from a dead stop.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming down in that position, you're stopping, and coming back up.
An interesting thing recently that I've discovered probably the last 2-3 months with my strict press, axle, log, barbell, whatever, had been finding an ability to create stretch reflex with my upper back to press before I start going. And I think that it did come in time, but I didn't have enough, I think, upper back muscle to contract at that position to press.
Sure.
And as I started building that up specifically to be able to do that, I felt like I could kind of have the bar on my upper chest and contract my shoulder blades together and kind of pop it off of me, right? And still being strict, right?
Yeah.
Just creating a stretch reflex in just my upper body. And I think that if you can do that mind-muscle connection thing, you can probably figure out how to have a better position for the bar on your back when you're doing a squat or pulling the tension out of a deadlift and getting a better, position with your tension, and that's tough.
Yeah.
But
And
I
it-
think it's
and
huge.
And if people out there don't know what the stretch reflex is, if you look at your muscles like rubber bands, when you do a movement like you lower a squat, your muscles will store energy. Energy can only be stored or transferred. It can't be destroyed. So when you squat down, those tendons, ligaments, and muscle bellies are holding that energy, and they can hold the energy for so long before it starts to dissipate. So you're creating that stretch reflex. So when you come down in a squat, you come down and come right back out of the hole versus doing a pause squat. You have the stretch reflex. You're stretching that muscle with the tendons and ligaments that's holding that energy, and you can come back up. Now they've done studies, top level athletes can hold it maybe longer than a beginner can, but that's what the stretch
I've heard
reflex
like
is.
even up to 6 seconds is.
Yeah, some of the
that's pretty
top end
long,
guys
but
can.
yeah.
That's long to be able to explode back up, but that's where you, like a pause squat, I mean, it basically takes away all the stretch reflex and the rebound that you have if you're holding it. But, most of the time you're only holding it for a couple seconds. So as far as how the stretch reflex goes, that's kind of just a basic layman's term idea for people who might not
Yeah,
know
but
what it is.
I think that most people do know what that is if they've squatted before. They know what that bounce is out of the hole.
Yeah, just maybe never have heard
Yeah, they
The-
called that.
the sciencey part of it that some people like to use to, you know what I mean?
Like whatever Matt said about caffeine and dissipation, and
Yeah, he used a whole bunch of big words in there.
he's pretty smart.
Yeah, but that's why he's doing a business call now and not on this deal.
Yeah, he did step away. What's the next question?
Next question. What are the best shoes for lifting and are Converse old news?
Don't wear Converse in public, ever.
Why? Because you're a Vans guy?
I prefer those, but still.
That's fine. Converse, Westside popularized Converse a lot. And their reasoning was there's minimal sole, so there's more ground force contact. So your foot closer to the ground. There's no foam, squishy. It's not going to tip you. They populate. A lot of people had them because they're super cheap.
They used to be.
Yeah, they used to be. Now they're like a fucking hipster style. So
And
they're
the
not near as cheap.
canvas walls on those things, you push your feet up against them, you know?
Yeah, which when I had high top chucks, but they used to make a double ply. You could have two layers, and I got those because I felt like it was going to be more stability if I'm going to wear a high top. So chucks will never die as far as for a lifting shoe.
I mean, I still own a pair, and
people are always going to lift in them, but there's been improvements. You know, Reebok had the power lift for a little while. I don't even know if they're still making it. Here and there it pops up. Little wider toe box, stable.
was that the Mark Bell situation?
Mark Bell helped with that one.
Yeah.
Sambas, Adidas Samba soccer shoes are fantastic for not only squatting, but if you're doing moving events for a strongman.
So I've got to say, kudos to you for telling me that. And I had Sambas. Now I wear Gazelles because
Same idea.
It is. The Gazelle sole is harder.
Okay.
It doesn't flex as much as the Samba, and there's other reasons for that. But really interesting thing was I was overhead pressing for a long time in Olympic lifters because I felt like the bar path and my back felt better in them and my lower back and all that stuff. And when I actually got into strongman and I was log pressing in your gym, I remember you telling me to take my lifters off. And I was just thinking like, well, all the Olympic lifters overhead press with them and this and that and the other. But then I was thinking, okay, I'm going to try it because I do want to take less things to contest or worry about less things in training and have a pair of shoes and not change events and change fucking shoes.
Yeah.
I hate that. So I fell in love with the Sambas because now I overhead press in them. I deadlift in them. I have moving events in them. I mean, they're indoor soccer shoes, right?
They're flexible. They're not super.
Yep.
They're not too stiff that you can't move in them.
I squat in them. I mean, I do everything in them. Throwing events, you can throw in them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're to me, they are now, thanks to you, my most favorite and versatile shoe for all things training. And I know there's preferences, like you squat in Jordans even.
Yeah, and if you look at any of those shoes, and by Jordans, I squat in Jordan 1s. Jordan 1s are, anybody who knows anything about Jordans, Jordan 1s are the old originals, but they're flat-soled, minimal cushion. But you want the minimal amount of cushion because you don't want to be unstable when you're squatting. So you want the most amount of your foot on the ground. I've had people come in and they're like wearing some Nike, say Air Maxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
around.
super squishy, unstable. Yeah. Now I've had some Nike or some Adidas shell toes, at least some of the new ones, and the soles on those will almost like they're not stable at all. Like the sides.
Oh,
of
I thought
them,
they were like these, like the Gazelles. I'm wearing them now.
Yeah, no, the shell toes are like the middle of them almost like the sole's like rubbery and kind of collapses on them now.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
It's very weird. But Samba's pretty inexpensive. Jordan 1's going to cost you a little more, but you can be styling at the same time.
And profiling.
Yes, with the Jordan 1's, a variety. Because I've squatted in those. I've squatted in Sambas. I've squatted in Chucks. All of them. If you have that little bit wider sole, stiff, with a good solid base, it's not going to squish around.
Do you
on
tie them down or no?
I mean, I wear all my shoes somewhat loose because I'm fat and I use a shoehorn to put my shoes on.
Okay.
Yeah, I
get it.
like quick in and outs on those.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. I just wanted one pair of shoes. I'll put a pair of shoes on for contest day and stay in those fucking shoes all day.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see tons of people wearing
I mean,
them.
I've deadlifted barefoot, and it's actually pretty great.
I could see that. And I know people wear wrestling shoes. Wrestling shoes, in my opinion, always weird me out because they're kind of like rounded on the edges.
Yeah,
So,
they are.
You know what I
They
mean?
would kind of force your foot to be in that shape and maybe fold over.
Yeah, and I've seen problems with Chucks after a while where they will round up. I actually had a girl I trained. get red lighted at a meet because they thought her foot was coming up because her chucks
No way.
were older and the edges had rounded up. And it was kind of an asshole call.
I
So I
bet
said to the judge, I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I
It
go,
was
"Her shoes are
USAPL, wasn't it?
100%.
Of course,
It was 100% USAPL. But no, I don't think the chucks will ever die.
No, they won't, and they're not old news. I think they're not old news.
They've been changed. Now they're like the sole is a little bit cushier than it used to be. My biggest downfall on the chucks is putting them on is like a
They are
motherfucker because
bitch. Yeah,
the canvas is real floppy
and
you're
then
trying to
taking them
put on-
off.
Yeah, they're not like I like the ins and outs, like Quicken, like I said, the Sambas or Jordans.
You know, honestly, even squatting in like boat shoes.
Don't we're not getting into that.
No,
We're
no,
not,
no.
Not like Chad Wesley Smith.
No,
over here.
but I'm saying there's nothing to them. If you feel like you have to wear a shoe and not spend $150 on a slipper from like a powerlifting company,
Sure.
just get a boat shoe.
Yeah, I used to squat in Nike Dunks, the SBs. Didn't even lace them up.
That's pretty much the same as a Jordan 1, though.
Pretty much, they're a
close.
little bit fatter of a shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those. Some people like lifters. I have my different opinions about lifters. I think lifters are for quad dominant people with minimal ankle mobility and weak hamstrings. And that's why they use lifters because it forces them forward onto their quads and they don't have to use their hamstrings.
You could see a lot of guys
And that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's the fucking
Oh, no.
science, but
Yeah.
it's probably science
It probably is.
because here's the idea. The flat sole shoe is going to give you the ability to sit back more.
Uh-huh.
When you sit back, you're going to load your hamstrings more. Also, sitting back, if you're just a casual lifter and you want your knees to last forever, sitting back onto a box takes all the shear force off your knees.
Yeah.
When you squat with lifters and your knees slam forward, all the shear force of that bar weight goes forward into your knees.
Mm-hmm.
And where's that going to go? When your tendons have reached limitations, where's it going to go? Wham! You're gonna
Against the
fucking-
drywall.
Yeah. You're going to tear something out. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to everybody. Plenty of Olympic lifters use them forever,
Yeah.
but they're also getting in different positions. They're front squatting more. The bar's in front of
But
them.
if you look at Olympic lifters that are good Olympic lifters, they also train a bunch of other shit. You know?
They do. And the most Olympic lifters I see, they just train their cleans, their snatches, front squat, and then they leave.
And they can do it twice a day,
Yeah.
which is
I
crazy.
mean, that's
to
fine.
me.
Whatever you want to do. To each their own. I don't ever knock anybody for whatever their training is because
just a
at
lot
least
of
they're
work.
fucking here.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But that's my opinion on lifters. Lifters are a very stable shoe. Very stable. The soles are very stable. I had a kid one time talk to me. He was wearing lifters and his heel was coming up still.
Oh, really?
I said, your ankle mobility is probably trash. You needed to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll just get a higher hole or higher heel on my.
I'm
on
going to
my
get a 5-incher.
yeah, I'll just get a higher heel on my.
I mean,
shoe.
they're like 2 is the max, isn't it?
Well, they never used to be, and that's one thing you can give CrossFit is because of CrossFit. Now you can get a hold of Olympic lifting shoes, and you can get a hold of bumper plates
True.
and all these things. It used to be
Yeah.
like you had to order your shoes from like the fucking UK if you wanted, and they used to be wood soled back in the day. The lifting shoes,
That
the
is
lifters
cool.
were wood soled.
That's pretty cool, though.
So, I mean, I understand the aspects of it. I think for powerlifting, I don't know. I think lifters just force you forward and more quad dominant. And a lot of times it's because your hamstrings can be weak. I'm not saying that's everybody.
No, a lot of it, too, though, like shoe or sport or the movement or whatever it is, there's a certain element of comfort that you do need to be comfortable in what you're wearing to feel good, to do well.
Sure, like we said, a lot of it's mentality, what's in your head. If that
Yeah.
shoe makes you feel like you're the strongest guy in the room, guy or gal, whatever, wear it.
Like, if you're like, I can't deadlift 700 unless I have Jordans on. Like, then that's cool. You can
Yeah.
deadlift 700, so put Jordans on.
And you know what? Again, if you're new to the sport and you don't have a lot of money, don't fucking worry about it. Get whatever you can
Yeah.
afford. And I'm not saying don't wear your Nike Air Maxes. That's all you can afford. This is just somebody asking in general about the best shoes for it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the best case scenario.
You know, even a good running shoe, so pulling a truck or any kind of moving event like that, and strongman specifically, a running shoe is fantastic, or a mountain climbing shoe. And they have
A little more tread on them.
yeah, and they're super flexible, and the tread goes over the top of the toe. So when you're really digging into the pavement and you're kind of like parallel with the concrete, you can really start driving that way. I think boots have always sucked, but they used to look cool on Dorian Yates.
Oh yeah, back in the Flex magazine. just
Yeah,
wear
but
boots
like
all the time.
they look cool, but I don't think that they're practical at all.
No, and a lot of those guys were wearing those Automexes back in the day. that are the
Was that the
weightlifting
boot?
shoes.
Oh, okay.
No, they were in
I
them
know what it
Tims
was.
back in the day. Them Tims and
Oh,
Docs.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And another brand I guess I forgot to is big up and comer now is Noble. Noble's kind of taken over
yeah.
the market too, and Noble makes a good flat soled shoe
They got high tops, low tops. I've seen all that
as
yeah.
well. I mean, there's other companies out there, but I guess get a flat soled shoe similar to that. This is my opinion on the best shoes for lifting. Now I said if you're an Olympic lifter, you're gonna have a completely different fucking idea than I am because I don't Olympic lift.
Yeah.
I've been around it. I've
You've
done
never
like,
seen an Olympic lifter like in running shoes at the Olympics. They're wearing lifters.
yes, and I've done some Olympic lifting, and I have a pair of lifters,
Yeah.
but that's not my expertise.
Yeah.
But I say
that's a different thing.
Good flat sole shoe, minimal padding, Chucks, Vans, Adidas,
just sucks that
any of
they're
the
all
Adidas soccer
expensive.
shoes. Yeah, they've all kind of come up. I mean, Chucks used to be like $25 back in the day.
Even I mean Vans are like $80 now.
Yeah, because well, I mean, the hipsters have added it to their styling and profiling. So that's kind
Got a
of.
pair of Vans, got a Ghost Energy drink, an A7 grip shirt.
And you have all those things. You wore those today.
I did wear them today.
You just made fun of the hipsters, and it's 100% with you.
Yeah, I did.
Let's see. We got one more here. Maybe we can do. What would Rich Piana ask? If anybody doesn't know who Rich Piana is, Rich Piana.
Who asked that question?
A gym goer here.
Okay.
Rich Piana. If you need to enlighten yourself, go on YouTube and look up Rich Piana. And he used to make a video series. Yes, Rich is dead. He used to make a Bigger by the Day series on YouTube. He owned 5% Nutrition, and I feel like there for a while he was part of Mutant Labs, nutrition-wise. And Rich was a massive human.
What did 5% mean?
I don't have any idea. It was 5% nutrition. The other 95% of him was steroids. I don't know. That guy was that guy was fucking enormous.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
What would he ask? I don't know. He'd probably ask how many milligrams we're all taking.
He wouldn't care about a diet or a training program.
Yeah, he would just say, it's motherfucking shake time.
Yeah.
And then he would say, how many milligrams are you taking?
Yeah.
His best Bigger by the Day series was what was it? They're going to add their...
Is that still on the tubes?
It's still out there. You can
Okay.
still watch it. He died they said snorting pre-workout. I don't know if that's true or not.
It is probably part
You know,
of
and
it.
I regret this to this day. I had the chance to meet Rich at the Arnold, but he was eating breakfast, and I didn't want to bother him.
He would fight you.
He probably would have been super nice, but I was like, I'm not going to bother that guy. And he's just massive sitting over there.
How wide do you think he was? If you had to put a foot to it, like 3 feet wide, 4 feet wide?
Probably, I mean, his arms and shoulders were huge.
Like from shoulder to shoulder, he was probably like almost 4 feet wide.
He was a massive human. But, the camera always does make people look bigger, though, too, until you see them in
Yeah.
person. Like, I've met some
Was he
people in
short?
person.
He was kind of short, wasn't he?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he was, like, above 6 foot, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong. But on one of his Bigger by the Day episodes, he's talking about they're on whatever day of this, and they're going to add their 5th meal. And then he said, we're also going to start adding orals. And this fucking guy, and he goes, and I'm talking about D-ball. And he just takes a bottle and shakes a bunch of D-ball into his hand, doesn't count it, nothing, and just fucking throws it
Eats
in
it
his
like
mouth.
popcorn.
And just throws it in his mouth. And just goes on about the day. And then he would close every workout out. Him and his wife or girlfriend, because I think he had both during his series, they would fucking leave the gym basically as it was closing. He'd sit on the curb and talk about his workout for a while. And then they would go to a fucking
That's
fast food
cool.
place like 10 minutes before they close and order like $80 in food. Every fucking time. And then he would go home in his fridge. He never cooked in his fridge and freezer. He just had fucking Ben and Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs like
Man,
everywhere.
that's cool.
He didn't cook at all. He's like, I remember he had a video. He moved to his house in Florida and he's like, this kitchen, look at it, it's beautiful. I don't fucking cook. I don't even know why this is in here.
And he was so big, but he wasn't like a big fat dude. He was just absolutely jacked. How much do you think he weighed? Without
I
looking
mean,
it
dude,
up.
he had to be close to like 300, I would bet.
I was gonna say over. He had been
And
over.
maybe. And you know what, though? I think he was probably like a genuinely nice dude, like in his videos.
I
Like
just
he had
enjoyed
his
it.
people he really
enjoyed
liked.
life. Yeah.
But yeah, that dude was, if you've never watched it and you get a kick out of
He's awesome.
bodybuilding stuff and fitness.
But he would ask you why you're not on anything.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
What's why?
What's holding you back?
Why you own this place
Yeah. But yeah, what would Rich Piana ask? He would probably ask how many milligrams
of things you're on.
that everyone is taking.
Man, that's good. He was awesome.
He was, gone too soon.
How old is he? Just guess. don't know
I
enough
would think he
about
had to be in his like late 40s. I would have to look. I don't even know.
him. Yeah, I don't know either.
And Coach X isn't here to look it up. So,
I know.
but yeah, I would guess late 40s. And I think
That's
5%
nuts.
nutrition might still be around.
I
feel
was
like
gonna. I was thinking 5%. Is that like body fat, or is it like 5% of people do the work, or like what's the?
I don't know. I never went into
Wanna
like
look that up too.
yeah. I've never went into that whole part of it. But
That's my questions to the people asking questions. Is
yes,
answer those questions.
yes. And we'll probably keep doing these Q&As every other week. If you want to put a question in, we run everything through the Omaha Barbell Instagram page, and we post the new podcast every Wednesday, and usually ask for Q&A questions the following Thursday to get new ones. So follow Omaha Barbell so you can keep up on all the episodes, keep up on the Q&As. I know we answered like 4 or 5 questions there.
Any other interesting ones before you go, or you just want to wrap it?
I don't know.
There's probably like 7 on there, so pick maybe one more that's worthy. If not, you're not worthy.
Let me see what we're thinking here. What is the king of lifts and why is it bench? Bench is probably the king of lifts that everyone asks about.
How much you bench?
Yep. That is the question everybody who has ever worked out and looks like they work out get. I've always been the deadlift is the king lift because there is no eccentric load. It's just your body weight versus the deadlift versus the bar.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I was thinking of like, why wouldn't it be squat? But I mean, some people just built a squat really well.
Some people are, but remember you have the eccentric movement, which is the lowering,
Yep.
and then the raising of it. Bench, lowering, raising, deadlift. So when you lower that weight, you have the eccentric load of that. So we talked about storing energy, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to
Yeah.
reverse that. In the physics of it, you've had the load on the way down. Now you just have to reverse the load, right? You have the reversal strength. Hopefully, right? You don't get
Yeah.
stapled. Because you can usually lower, eccentrically, most people can lower 50% more than they can eccentrically raise. Scientifically. That's not just a Brett stat. That is a scientific
That's cool.
stat.
I didn't know that.
Usually they're 50% stronger in the eccentric than they are the concentric. And that's how I always joke around and tell everybody, I'll lower anything. But a deadlift, you don't have that because you're
Yeah,
lowering.
you got to go to 0 to 1,000 real quick.
Yeah, let's say you weigh 200 pounds and you got 500 pounds on the bar. Well, you're only lowering 200 to the bar, your body weight, right? And then you're going to try to stand up with it. And there's no like, you can get locked in as set as you want to, but it's you versus that bar.
Well, that's
that is-
even like old like caveman or like Viking type mentality. Like you got to pick up this rock and move this thing. Like it's sitting there, and you're gonna have to move it for somebody or do the thing or whatever. No one's like, I want you to put this on your back and squat it, and I'll tell you how strong you are.
Yeah.
It's like pick that fucking thing up and move it.
Yeah, and I think, and you can look at that. What transitions most to life is probably.
If you have a decent deadlift and I could probably, without a science background or nutrition or training or anything like that, I could probably say, if someone that's like 40 years old and above that's got over a 300-pound deadlift is probably pretty healthy back.
Yeah, you're probably pretty healthy lower body, back. And the problem with deadlift, I think there's a lot of people who are very naive and think, well, I don't want to hurt my back. Because everybody's always,
right.
that was the old adage back in the day. I remember when I first started doing powerlifting, I'd call my mom, I just did a meet, I did this. Oh, well, don't hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your back. Your dad has a bad back, you know what I mean? So it's...
Because he didn't deadlift.
Well, probably not. In that, I think people should deadlift more. I think people should do more 45-degree back extensions. I think reverse hyper. Yes, the stronger your back is, the better it's going to be. I had a client, her back bothered her, and for the longest time, I was like, we just need to do more back extensions, high rep, pauses with weight, and it improved her back tremendously.
Yeah.
And I think people have such a fear. There's such a stigma of doing things, picking things up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to pick it up wrong. Dude, I got hurt more picking up stupid shit
Oh, fuck
like
yeah.
a stupid asshole than I ever did by like a technically sound deadlift.
Yeah, I'm going to go kick a soccer ball real hard to my kid, and I pull like a fucking labrum off my body.
And the funny part is most deadlift injuries in a meet are never their back. It's their bicep.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say
Fucking tear a bicep.
Yeah.
They fucking, you never like see someone like, oh, that guy just, his spine shot out of his ass. That guy fucking just died while he was deadlifting.
What's awesome about the bench thing is it's funny to be around people that if you squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, do all this stuff in reasonable shape, whatever, and you're wearing like a certain amount of clothes, they'd be like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, I didn't know you worked out. But if you're like sitting there in a t-shirt and you have like a big chest and triceps, you'd be like, dude, like how much? Like you obviously work out, and the guy probably doesn't even squat 200 pounds. You know what I mean? Like that's the metric.
Oh, it's always,
So maybe that's why that's king, and just you can wear jeans and look jacked.
But you have to remember, that's when we were growing up. That's a lift that everybody liked to do. Was bench.
100%. Like look at any prison movie. This guy's in the yard just benching, eating calamari in jail.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like this kid asking me one time, like, oh, dude, what do you bench? And it wasn't like anything crazy at the time. I was like, oh, like 385 or something like that. And he was like, oh, yeah, no, me too. And I was like, no, you fucking don't. You just agreed with me because you're trying to like, it's like it's like a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you bench that? Oh, I benched 390 17 years ago, but my brother.
My uncle.
Yeah, it's always like some fucking high school glory day of fucking benching.
Your microphone's off.
But I've seen Matt bench and almost fucking pass out during a bench.
Well, I've seen him bench without benching for a long time and did well.
Yeah, because I'm a man.
Because you're over like 500 pounds.
But last time I saw Matt deadlift, he tore his hamstrings. So
Last time I saw him cut the grass, he blew out of both knees.
Part of a hamstring and almost all of my quads.
this guy had a ride back from South Dakota in the backseat of my truck with his fucking leg up.
What were you even deadlifting, like 900?
Yeah, for reps, that was a light day.
Yeah. So you just did like the meat to shove it in their face. You're like, one attempt. I'm just gonna do like a couple reps.
Just do this.
Wasn't it your third attempt?
No, it was my second.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I just saw his face, and I was
Did
like,
you hear
well,
like a pop the whole thing?
Yeah.
I saw his face, and I was like, well, this fucking meet's over.
Well, good thing it's deadlifts.
I know, like it popped, and I stood up, and I was like, huh. And then like you thinking about like, all right, where did I feel that pop at?
Was it like rolled up in you and shit?
No, it was like in the muscle belly itself, which wasn't too bad.
Probably scar tissue being so jacked.
Probably.
You just ripped it open. I feel
But like the reason it happened is because I deviated from God's way and I was trying to do sumo pulling.
Gross. You did that?
Yeah, because my back hurt
Yeah,
too
take
bad
that question even
conventional
further.
pull.
So, deadlift is the king lift,
Yeah.
but sumo versus conventional.
Okay.
So sumo's cheating. Deadlift, conventional deadlift is I think the king of like lift. I really like some kind of ground to shouldering of like a sandbag or something to like really test like your manhood. Because that's like something you might actually have to do. Like rarely do I get a
We were
steel
kind of
bar full
going
I
down
don't
that
usually
path
train that
earlier.
heavier than dog food bags.
Those are heavy if they're like 40 pounds. They have a handle on it. It's like the heaviest fucking.
But
bag
I
you've
show
ever
everybody
picked
how
up in your
fucking
life.
cool I am.
plastic cuts into your hand.
Yeah, you're like Jesus.
I just show everybody how cool I am, and I just throw the dog food bag and just walk with it on my shoulder with no hands. Like a fucking boss to the grocery store.
Old women are slipping in the aisle.
Yeah, just fucking, it's like carrying 2 jugs of milk with one fucking hand.
No, those like those four.
A finger in
Those
each.
four-
A finger in each.
The
thing
40-pound salt bags for your water softener.
Dude,
and
I
you have
carried 4 of those downstairs the other day, and I almost
Dude.
fucking died.
I know it's 80 pounds a hand, and you're like Jesus.
One step at a time, 2 bags in each hand, almost severed 11 fingers.
My last heavy contest was 300 a hand for farmers and 80 pounds a hand. And
What size was the handle that you had to hold? 'Cause that
oh,
makes a
okay,
huge
so
fucking difference.
it does.
Yeah,
It-
because those salt bags are actually negative.
Yeah, they're
measurement.
negative. Yeah. So the handle on the farmers, this one was like maybe a hair bigger than like a barbell, right?
Okay.
And then you're running with it.
Yeah.
But then those little bags, you put your 2 like fingers in the middle of your claw
like-
hook there, and you're just dying.
Just half a millimeter wider than a razor blade.
I surely only train grip so I can carry all the groceries in at one time.
Oh,
which
that's the
I
best.
refuse to make more than one. I will leave fucking shit in the car until I have to go outside again for something else.
Yeah. If I have
So I
a
get
bunch
all
of
the cold
bags
stuff
and then I
first.
have a couple boxes, I'm fucking pissed that I grab boxes at the store at all. That are like larger, and I can't. Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Those are staying outside.
One hand. You need help? Nope, I got
Nope,
it.
I
Yeah.
got it.
And it's usually
Third
I was
floor
gonna say
apartment,
it's
doesn't
not
fucking
it's not
matter.
in just
Yeah.
all it is one hand because you have like a phone.
You gotta
or
have your
something
door
in
open
other
in hand.
Yeah, and that
Or
too.
you can put your phone in your pocket. Level up.
True.
That's also why I've had people, they'll ask me about why I'm right-handed, why is my left arm stronger? Because you carry all the shit with your left hand so you can use your right hand so you don't look like an invalid when you open the door.
Because you want to be dexterous.
Yeah. But yeah, usually they'll carry everything with that. It's like sometimes your left foot or your left leg will be stronger because your plant foot. You know what I mean? Like when you're crushing kickball, your left leg's your plant foot.
True. It's all the impact.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, kickball.
Plus, I'm going to sacrifice my left leg over
how'd you
my right
like
one
your
if it's going to get
how'd you
fucking
like your
hurt.
kickball? Slow and bouncy or fast and smooth?
It didn't matter. I fucking destroyed kickball.
But you know the language, right?
No.
You didn't? We'd have to call that out when the pitcher was pitching to us and kicked.
No, I just took whatever and crushed home runs like a fucking man. And when I was in fucking like 5th grade, if you hit the back wall in our fucking gym, it was a home run. But if you hit the ceiling, it was an out.
Oh yeah,
'Cause the
we
ceiling's
did
full
that
of
too.
Fucking nails.
So
Yeah,
roofing
and like
nails.
asbestos is raining down on everybody.
yeah, I'm just down there like a fat kid in
Oh,
jeans,
no,
just
it's
blasting
fine.
home runs.
You
I'd
had
be up there in my
sweatpants.
in my size.
Wait, talk
whatever.
about your bench for a second. We're getting off topic because your bench was decent, and just by accident because you're large, maybe, but you're a pretty good bencher, and you weren't training bench for a while, and you pressed.
He
over
almost passed
400.
out benching.
Only incline.
Yes.
Incline anything over like.
Was that the one you
200.
dropped on you?
No, that was flat bench.
That was also what has scarred Amber for life.
Yeah,
I don't even know how that happens.
it's just,
And you weren't false gripping, right?
no. I used to suicide grip forever, and then I was like, all right, I guess if I'm doing meat, I can't do that.
He was
And so I
limp
was in there, and
wristing.
I remember seeing. So I was new to barbell. I didn't know the.
Oh, you tried to show
powerlifting
off.
crew
I
that was
get
here.
it.
No, no.
Okay.
Well, probably a little bit, but I'd done it before in 24-hour fitness.
What, showed off or done 405?
Yes.
Okay.
Both. So I grabbed I saw one of the guys that I had seen with like the powerlifting group.
Fucking turd.
Apparently very big turd or weak turd, but turd either way. And I was like, hey man, will you give me a spot? And so he comes over, he's like, sure. But I was a man, so I didn't need a handoff, so I did myself 405. So I'm like,
That'll make your shoulder stronger, future reference.
I feel attacked.
so I was like,
Go ahead.
boop, did that. I brought it down to the chest. It was like a smooth on the way up, and then it was like I got to the top, and I was like, oh shit, and it just like disappeared out
Just
of my hand.
like shooting
and
a
just-
jump shot. Like I'm gonna keep this hand up in the air.
Yeah, I was just like,
I'm gonna
and
keep
then
this
it
hand
hit,
up.
But I distinctly remember it hitting the first time, and I was like, ugh, and then it bounced, and when the bounce when it came down, Daphne was like, and I felt the stuff break, and I was
Dude,
like, no, this is bad. And
that's
then fucking
terrible.
Tony and Milt and old man Mike come over, and they're like, oh, you're fine. And they start telling me about all the times that they just dump shit on their face. And
Yeah,
on
but
their
was it
chest.
400 though?
It was like 7 something.
But this is when the benches were right next to the front desk when
Yeah.
we first opened, and Amber was sitting at the front desk working when this happens.
Yeah,
Hey,
so I'm
did you have
just-
the plates clamped on there, or they like fly
Yeah,
off
no, they
the
were
side?
fine. Like it was, yeah, everything just bounced on me. Luckily, luckily Tony and Milt and like old man Mike were here.
Because that kid spotting you was
The kid, I think he just fucking left. He just like thought I was gonna die, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm out." And so I
No shit.
Yeah, he didn't help at all. Tony and Milt came and like picked the weight up, racked it, and they're like, "Why don't you just stay there for a minute?" I'm sure it was just white as a ghost.
Oh, dude.
And then like
nice.
they helped me sit up.
Did you
and I was
break
like,
anything? Or just bruised?
Not till later when he sneezed.
Not till So I separated.
Really?
Yeah, I separated a bunch of cartilage on both sides, like the little cartilage in between the ribs was like in there, and like there might have been some cracks, but they couldn't tell. But yeah, I was probably like 2 weeks along, and I was sleeping upright, probably 70 degrees in bed, and I remember I woke up and had like a tickle in my nose, and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and I'm like trying to control it, right? I'm like pinching my nose so like I can't sneeze, like
you
ready
knew
to-
it was gonna hurt.
I knew I was gonna sneeze, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna sneeze. I'm not gonna sneeze. Thought it was done. Brought my hand away. It was
Oh no way!
and Aaron's like, what was that? And I'm trying to talk to him. I was like,
Pierced
because
the lung.
it hurts so fucking bad.
What?
So I went in with her.
So don't
next day.
sneeze. Control your allergies.
Right. Be a better man.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But yeah, so fortunately she's a orthopedic PA, so I went into her office and they x-rayed it and they're like, oh yeah, you got a couple breaks here and then like a crack over here. I was like, cool.
Damn.
Sneezing. The bench didn't even do it.
That's how hard
I
it
know.
is.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you know, to preface the kid that spotted him, later on that kid was doing some kind of band movement. And he wrapped him around a lat pull down that was plate loaded and pulled the fucking lat pull down over on top of himself and got wet. What a dummy.
Yeah.
And that was Matt's fucking star spotter.
Yeah, that was, I think that was legitimately day one here at Barbell, like my first official day as a member.
And I remember calling him and being like, you all right?
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking know him.
Yeah. He was like, are you
So
dead?
I'm looking at your member profile, and I think I got your number right. Did you die?
And it says here your warranty is expired.
No, it has.
Oh, that's good. Well, we got through a bonus question just because,
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
Conventional deadlift.
Conventional deadlift, king lift.
of course.
Bench is the king. How much do you lift question?
It's good for bar sports and conversations with your bros.
Yeah, if you lose at darts, you just say, yeah, but it's cool. I bench like 523. And this goes out to the guy who
that's-
asked the question because he knows. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody listening. If you like it, share it. If you don't like it, we'll take bad press. That's fine. Just go to Omaha Barbell's Instagram page if you have any questions you want us to hit. And thanks again. We'll see you next week.